Anything strike you as special about this fish here? Well, it's worth $1.8 million. It won Grand Champion at the All Japan Koi Show in 2017 and is the most expensive koi fish ever sold. Koi may just look like an oversized goldfish, but they're not even remotely related. Koi are actually a type of carp. And today, they're some of the most expensive pet fish in the world. But why? Koi were originally raised in Japan in the 1700s when rice farmers first began breeding them for their distinct colors and patterns, similar to how we breed dogs for their specific traits. And just like prized dog breeds, Japanese people take koi breeding very seriously. There are regular competitions to name the top koi. Judges and buyers pay attention to how healthy its skin looks, its size and body shape, and how gracefully the fish moves in the water. But the most important trait of all is the koi's coloring. The best koi have a good balance of colors and patterns according to their variety.
This is like CSGO skins.
Koi with light blue spots, ones with large red patches on their backs, or all metallic gold. But the most winning fish often just boil down to these three varieties. They're often the most valuable. They dominate the shows, winning nearly every major category each year. And the better looking the fish, the more a buyer is willing to pay.
Yeah, it depends. You can buy some small and cheap koi fish for a couple of bucks, but also, yeah, it can get up really, really high, till thousands, $10,000s of dollars.
That's Ivo de Val. He's a koi hobbyist and seller in the Netherlands, and he heads up the YouTube channel Koi Partner. Each year, he visits Japan to shop for koi.
The breeders are located there, and they have experience with their bloodlines for many, many generations.
You see, bloodlines are just as prized in koi as they are in dogs, because some of these koi are the result of decades of selective breeding.
But who buys them?
I mean, just take a look at the koi's wild relative, the common carp. Its dark colors would be considered unattractive for a koi, but it's perfect protection against predators in the wild. So how do you get from this to this? Well, it's actually similar to how we got from this to this. Except koi breeders mainly select for size and color and ignore fluffiness. Koi have 6 types of color cells in their skin. Their cells can be red, yellow, black, white, blue, or metallic. Now, in order to get a beautiful reddish-orange pattern like the one on
that's to select the right gene all the time.
$1 million fish, you need to select for fish that have a white body and lots of red cells that concentrate in large patches. Red and white are important colors in Japanese culture, representing joy and purity. But having the right colors is only part of it. A koi's color cells sit at different depths in the skin, some right near the surface and some deeper in, which ultimately determines how bright the fish appears. The brighter the fish, the bigger the price tag. Today there are about 120 varieties. To compare, there are about 200 breeds of dogs. But when it comes down to it, breeding koi is a lot harder. A single koi can give birth to hundreds of thousands of baby fish at a time.
I think we're talking about millions and millions of fish per breeder.
So, breeders must choose wisely. One breeder, for example, reports that he starts with 3 million fish and selects 15,000 to raise over the first year. From that, he chooses 1,000 to continue to raise the second year.
What about the rest?
Yeah, it's a really hard job for the breeders.
But in the end, all that hard work is worth it. The breeder of this Grand Champion waited until she was 9 years old to sell her at auction. And by bringing in a world record 1.8 million, the breeder got not only a huge return on investment, but a priceless reputation boost in the koi.
You go to PetSmart, you think so? Why? You think they actually go to PetSmart? Well, they should. Yeah, it's 2 minutes long. Those are ugly as shit.
What makes these shoes worth almost $800?
Ugly.
Christian Louboutin is the mastermind behind these iconic red bottom shoes. It's safe to say his footwear has stepped into the mainstream. Celebrities all over the world wear them.
You know, the ones with the high heels and the red bottoms?
These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes.
Louboutin even had the red bottoms trademarked. The signature Louboutin pumps start at $695. The most expensive pair? Nearly $6,000.
This
So
is
how did this craze
trash.
start? Christian Louboutin had the idea for red soles in 1993. An employee was painting her nails red. Louboutin snagged the bottle and painted the soles of a prototype shoe. Just like
Well, I
that,
bring this to
the
sleep
red
because
soles
you
were
are so
born.
boring.
So what makes these shoes worth the cost?
Dude, what
In
are you on about?
2013, when the New York Times asked Louboutin why his shoes are so expensive, he blamed production costs. Louboutin said it's expensive to make shoes in Europe. From 2008 to 2013,
Sure.
he said his company's production costs had doubled as the euro strengthened against the dollar. And competition increased for quality materials from factories in Asia. David Mesquita, the co-owner of Leather Spa, says craftsmanship also plays a part in the shoe's high price tag. His company works directly with Louboutin to repair its shoes, repainting and replacing the red soles.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into the design of a shoe and the making of a shoe. Most importantly, I think, is who's designing it, who's manufacturing it, and also what materials they're using to make the shoes. Whether you're talking about feathers, rhinestones, or exotic materials, there's so much attention to detail that they put into their manufacturing, designing of their shoes.
That was interesting, though.
For instance, these $3,595 Louboutins are embellished with Swarovski crystals. And these raccoon fur...
Guys, I have to be honest, Jack. I have to be honest. Let's say you were to replace all those with another, like a zirconian, which is very good for reflecting light or whatever, and all of them, who would notice? Nobody would know.
And these raccoon fur boots cost $1,995. When it all comes down to it, people are paying for the status symbol. Producer Spencer Albin bought a pair of Louboutins for her wedding.
It makes me sound so stuck up, but I love the red soles because it's such like a fashion icon symbol. There's something about them that when you see them in a picture, like you instantly know what those are. So it's like a status symbol, I guess, which makes me sound terrible. They were over $1,000, which when I say that now is like insane for one pair of shoes that you're probably never gonna wear again. It's like something that everyone knows. So the second you see the red bottoms, it's like, I know what those are. I know what those cost.
Oh, women.
And it's so superficial that we care about that, but it really is something that
That's
is like
Pepega
universal.
credit.
You see that, you instantly know what those are, and it's something special. So I think something as silly as like the color of the sole on the shoe makes them so special because it's universally identifiable.
Would you drop $1,000 for red bottom shoes?
No. Smart.